everyone, what's up and welcome back to Gachiakuta episode 9. This is the only video of mine going out today. Generally, there's both Gachiakuta and Witch Watch, but there's no Witch Watch episode today. So because of that, I procrastinated doing this video for quite a bit. Hopefully it still goes out on time. If it goes out an hour late or something, that's why. It's just me being an idiot, just like procrastinating because I had half the amount of videos to do, so I didn't. Whatever, doesn't matter. Anyway, we're jumping into Gachiakuta, episode 9. Last episode, I think, was just kind of like a lore episode. But let me look at my notes. Gachiakuta. Yeah, okay, yeah. So last episode was sort of us learning about what exactly Rudo's power is, and it's like he brings out the potential of the items, you know? He uses them for like what their purpose should be, and then they fulfilled their purpose, and then poof, they go out into the world. So so it's really cool. I really liked the way that they told us what his power is. You know, I really enjoyed the way that it sort of twisted around from like, oh no, he destroys precious objects, to no, he gives precious objects something final and special to fight for, which I think is great. So let's jump into episode 9. This is Gachiakuta. Make sure to support the video if you can, liking, commenting, and subscribing. And my Patreon account has the full-length reaction, early access, and exclusive videos for both this channel and my Jent Watches One Piece channel. Let's jump into this Gachiakuta episode 9. Oh, his hands. Reminds me of Kyoko Kirigiri.
You do know it's 4 in the morning.
I thought this would be her.
We're gonna be heading out tomorrow. Not really.
The hell are you? I mean,
you're a woman in my bed.
Bathroom? How'd you even get in?
There's an open window.
Well, for starters, my room's above this one. I could hear you moaning, so I got worried and figured I'd sneak in through the window.
No, wait. That doesn't explain why she's on my bed.
I don't know, it's comfortable.
Was it because of your hands?
Oh, it's
They
probably
don't hurt as much so long as I'm wearing my gloves.
be self-conscious about him.
You'd have to ask my piece of shit parents about that.
Man, aren't parents just the absolute worst?
Sometimes. Mine are great. Mine are awesome.
Just so much, and it's not always good.
Yeah. It's like that poem that's like, they fuck you up, your ma and pa. It's a long poem you can find. Who's this? Oh my god! The city of graffiti.
I suspect Rudo's full face will be done once you're back and ready to go.
I have a full face.
Full face.
Something we gotta wear when we go into a no man's land.
Ah,
You
like a
saw mine
mask.
when I first saved your skinny butt.
Yeah.
Makes our threads and full faces.
Cool.
That's why we look so good. Thing is, you can't give
Just
him
a bit of
deadline or he'll
fashionista.
freak out and just make unwearable crap. So we just let him work at his own pace.
Nobody knows what'll go down in a no man's land. Step on the wrong piece of trash, you're done. He's got a draw on you.
He what?
Hmm?
It's how his powers work.
Oh,
It'll probably
he's
look
got a
like
draw
the
on
tags
you.
he's put up around HQ.
Which sucks, because now we gotta drive out to go see him.
Okay.
But why does that suck? Where's this guy even live?
Is it the same guy that graffitied on the
Where all
wall
wild things
a few
live,
episode ago?
in Canvas Town.
I can't really remember what he looks like.
But before
Canvas
we head out,
Town.
deadly fact-finding expedition.
Okay. Is Rio here? Rio's here. That's all I care about. Zanka's here. Good.
Ain't they something?
Okay. Greece. That woman.
You've got your buddy Zombie Rio, and of course yours truly.
Wonderful.
We've got Delman and also Tamsi.
Delman Tamsi.
From our intrepid supporters, we've got Gris, Folo, and Tome. Typically, you
and
want to run
Tome.
with teams of 5 supporters. We're minimizing our support crew, maximizing our giver count.
Okay. Cool.
Rudo! Your life's my heart! To
Okay.
think anyone could be so cruel to one of their own! The hell your
This guy
people put you through is unforgivable!
Reminds me of the guy from Demon
It's
Slayer, the
always a
Stone
pleasure
Husher or
meeting
whatever.
passionate You, sir, are eager
Take a
material!
That automatically makes him Akuta.
Hmm.
It's always a pleasure meeting passionate people.
Okay, you seem kind of cool.
Speaking of the word
For now, you
curse,
might be like really
let's let
evil.
Mr. Trash do his thing.
You speak like
Gentlemen,
someone who
you're
might
up.
be secretly evil. Already putting the earplugs in. So, and the black-haired girl is Tomei, I think, right? Oh my god, this shot.
Because we are the cleaners! And cleaners!
Okay, here's the graffiti. Oh, pretty cool. Oh, Jesus.
Nearly killed us! My bad!
They didn't nearly kill you. They weren't really at risk of hitting you. Wow. That's a crazy like area design. This artist is like the mangaka is really creative. Has some really inspired ideas. Like, wow, that's awesome. That's a really cool like graffiti city.
Get into the city, then you might survive a bit of trash rain. But mostly it just kills people.
Jeez.
What? You've got to be bullshit.
Oh, Jesus.
See?
It's graffiti that's so good. No, never mind. I was about to say it's graffiti that's so good it seems like you can walk through it. It seems like it's clear.
Ignore the idiots outside. Just come on in.
Well, certain people are allowed
Unless you've got
in.
some fun. Otherwise, you're golden.
Interesting. Man, they would have had a lot of fun doing the graffiti for this section, I guess.
The words you're looking for are so sick.
A lot of folks on the ground got an art itch they need, but a lot of folks don't much like art.
That's what
Legend
this
has
city's
it,
for, I
Canvas
guess.
Town was founded to give
Davis told me once that back in the day, people used to call it the city of art.
Nice.
Looks like you. So wait, are we here just to see art?
No, we're here to
No.
find someone.
We're here to see a certain someone who makes
Yeah.
art. We're gonna need all the protection we can get.
How's that even work?
I don't know, he's got a power. His spray can is his
You had to
object or
ask.
whatever. His instrument.
Okay, that vibe or feeling, he puts it into his art and makes it a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much like
I do kind of get it.
Remember the gate? How something was keeping those two dipsticks out?
Yep.
Well, that's don't let no punks who want to start something inside the city all along the outside wall, keeping out the riffraff.
Okay, yeah.
And now Riff and Raff's nasty plans will never come together.
Sounds like his power's just whatever he wants.
Yeah.
His instrument's a rare breed. It's actually been handed down.
Who's this?
Sorry. You okay?
His power was handed down. Okay. What are you running from? Also, everyone in this show has crazy hair.
Didn't cry.
This looks like an older Law from One Piece. This guy.
Thought we might find you in your house like usual. We were just about to go hit up Job. No
Job.
hanging out today.
Ah,
So you haven't heard.
like the biblical name Job.
Job's no longer with us.
Oh.
He died this morning.
This morning? What? Well, that sucks. So he had a power to do whatever, and now...
I'm sure he went maskless more often than not. He'd get so wrapped up in his art, he'd forget.
Right.
Again, I told that fool to wear his mask.
Well, his power was passed to him, right? Are we gonna have his power passed to... Like that little kid that was running. Yeah, was this Job?
You're about to. Guys like Job get
That
something
was
in their
Job,
heads and there's
okay.
no stopping them till it's out.
I did think that, like, I didn't remember his design being remarkable. So they didn't make his design remarkable because he's not gonna be a main character.
It's a rather boring cause of death here.
I think he's always gonna let death
You
bother
should
him.
know, Job's had his successor picked out for a while.
Okay.
It's a small relief knowing his vital instrument will be passed on.
Okay, to this kid?
It's how it works. The user chooses who will inherit it.
Okay.
Maybe it's just about skill.
It's
I
just
like
about
to think it's
care,
something
probably.
deeper than all
If
that.
you actually care about them.
As a giver, and they become the spellcaster of Canvas Town.
Damn.
With all the now, this is Remlin Sark, the
Remlin
artist that
Sark.
Job appointed to become the next spellcaster. The spellcaster is very much the voice of Canvas Town.
And
It
Remlin's
seems
not
unfair
ready.
to place such immense pressure on someone so young.
It's backwards. The time and care it takes to become a giver prepares you for it. But not.
So instruments can be inherited.
Some of them
Sorry,
sounds
man.
like.
I know you're busy, but you may have to wait a while on your spell. He loved making art, whether by request. I don't see the world in the way they do. That's why I
You're
became
not an
the mayor of
artist?
Canvas Town,
And you-
to protect those
okay.
who see wonder all around.
He answered my question. I was like, then why are you the mayor of Canvas Town? But
Job would just appear at HQ and tag wherever he wanted with whatever he wanted. Then he'd dip to go tag. with
his
something
design
else.
was more interesting when he was younger.
Always.
Again, I'm sorry.
Bye, Remlin. See you around.
Aw, Engine. You're a sweet guy.
Till then.
So we're not gonna get that graffiti help that we needed. Oh, I'm done grieving. I'm complete.
I'm so done. Screw this.
Oh.
No more crap vibes. Let's party.
Oh my god. You've really moved on. Give it to me. I wish that was how grieving worked. Grieving complete. All done.
An afterlife to live. He can't get his freak on while we're crying.
Let's get his freak on.
Done. Y'all ready for this?
Alright, let's see. There's a reason you were chosen as successor, right? Oh my god. Whoa! That's sick. Oh, this is cool. What is that? Oh my god. So like I was about to say, is it like fireworks? Yep. I mean, that's a good way to memorialize him, unironically. Like, it may seem in poor taste, but
Let's take it!
Aww. Yeah, see? They know, they use it for inspiration.
We're gonna do it big.
Aww.
This town, a city of freedom and joy.
Cool. That's a nice illustration. I like how much wonder was in his eyes. That's it. Wow, that was a quick episode. Okay, that was a good episode. It went by really quickly to me. Like I felt like we'd just gotten into it and then the episode was over. But yeah, that was nice. That was cool. I mean, like we saw a little bit of Job in a previous episode. And then like this episode we find out that he died. That was a shock. Like we were going there and they were sort of like building up his character and the things he could do, and they were like starting to explain his power, and then we get there and they're like, oh, he's actually already dead. Which is interesting, but we get to like his power gets passed down, so we now get to, I imagine, follow this character Remlin as she like learns this stuff from scratch, I guess, you know. And well, not from scratch. I mean, it seems like she already kind of knows what she's doing, but like we get to experience her, like, you know, taking on this responsibility. And I think that's very interesting. So I'm excited. I wonder how much of a role Remlin's gonna have in this series, because they said, oh, you're not gonna get your graffiti whatever right now, you know, what you need right now. And Engine was like, yeah, that's fine, I understand. Because we went here for Job to mark us, so that I imagine he marks us by going like, no one hurt this person, and then when they go out there they don't get hurt. It is interesting that like they've set this power up and actually kind of straight up acknowledge the fact that like the power sounds like a you can do anything you want power, obviously there's going to be limitations. There's a lot of shows that will have a you can do whatever you want kind of power. And I feel like a lot of shows will either not acknowledge that that's what the power is, or they will, but then put heavy limitations on it, or whatever, you know? Like, I would say in My Hero Academia, like, Star and Stripe had a kind of you can do anything you want power, you know? Cready also kind of does a little bit as well, Momo Yaoyorozu. Like, these heroes have powers that are very much, like, so open to interpretation that there's a lot of shit you can do with them, you know? But you know, a lot of the time, those shows can also, you know, do a good job at, like, I feel like MHA does a pretty good job at establishing a pretty strict rule set, and you can kind of have your theories about, like, why certain things wouldn't work. And I mean, I do think a legitimate writing technique is the whole, like, that character didn't think of it. Like, a lot of the time fans will be like, why in this moment did that character not do this very specific thing that they could probably do with their powers as it has been established, to do whatever, right? And then I feel like the writer could legitimately go, well, because you're watching a show, you have all the time in the world to think about it. They had about 3 seconds. Like, they in the moment, they did not think of that plan. Maybe given days and days, they wouldn't have thought of that plan, or their entire life, because people have different ways of thinking. But, I mean, obviously that's different to if there's a situation where, like, oh, this person's power is to revive people, and then someone dies, and then that person doesn't use their power to revive them. Then you can be like, hang on, why did that character not use their power to revive people? And in that situation, it might be because the writer didn't want that to happen, you know? And so that's kind of, like, not as solid a writing choice, you know? That's probably worse writing. But genuinely, if it's like you have a really open power, I think the writer can get away with a lot more of, like, well, they didn't consider that possibility, or maybe it wouldn't work, which I think that's also something important, is, like, sometimes we just assume that everything that has been told to us is the truth and there's nothing else to that truth, you know? But sometimes it might genuinely be like, hey, why didn't they just do this? Then the writer can go, maybe it wouldn't work, and it might be because of a rule that we don't know about, you know? Like, there might be some sort of limitation on it, because sometimes writers also, like, put further limitations on it later in the series, and then, like, retroactively that was always the case, but we just didn't know about it, you know? And that's fine as well. I've always been a big believer in, like, I think writing retroactively can be just as impressive as writing with a plan. Like, writing something that makes sense with the rest of the series, but that you just thought of now is really, really impressive, as well as, like, sitting down at the start and planning out your entire series and then writing it, you know? I think they're both equally impressive. So yeah, I'm curious, like, what they're gonna do with a power like this, but I'm curious about a lot of the power stuff. Like, I want to see more of Rudo fighting and stuff. I want to see how, like, what kind of powers he gets and how exactly it works in more battles. But yeah, I mean, so far this show also, like, it seems like we're having several parts of the show where it's just, like, us getting ready for stuff, you know? Like, last episode there was, like, little bits of training. In this episode we're, like, walking to meet a guy who might help us with the thing we're doing. So I wonder what the pacing of this show is gonna be, because we had several episodes of fight, and now we're having several episodes of setup, and the setup's solid. But I mean, like, it just, like, it depends honestly how good the payoff of this stuff is gonna be. And so I'm really curious, because so far the main, like, little fighting arc that we had was pretty solid. It was, like, pretty small, all things considered, but pretty solid. And so I'm hoping, you know, it's gonna step up even more from there. I really am hoping the series just gets better and better as it goes on. Like, if it stays at this level, it's going to be a fine show. Like, it's going to be a show that I'm going to be like, yeah, that was really clever and creative, and it was good. But if it keeps stepping up, then I can see a lot of potential in this concept. But we'll see. We will see. I liked that starting scene, though, of Rio in Rudo's room. I mean, I just like all the Rio stuff. I like Rio a lot. But I liked that opening scene of her in his room and them chatting about, like, him saying, like, you know, these scars or whatever, like, you can blame my stupid fucking parents for this or whatever. And then Rio being like, yeah, parents suck. They give you a lot and it's not always good. And that's like, that's exactly, you know, I mean, here, let me get that poem up. I'll find it. Hold on. And then I can, there we go. I found it. So this is This Be the Verse by Philip Larkin is this poem. And just wait till it loads. Okay, I found it. Here we go. So the poem is, they fuck you up, your mum and dad. They may not mean to, but they do. They fill you with the faults they had and add some extra just for you. But they were fucked up in their turn by fools in old style hats and coats, who half the time were soppy stern and half at one another's throats. Man hands on misery to man, it deepens like a coastal shelf. Get out as early as you can and don't have any kids yourself. So, like, that's kind of the idea, right? Like, your parents, I mean, like, look, I'm speaking from the place of loving my parents and so, like, you know, this doesn't relate to me quite as much. but it happens, you know, everyone has stuff. But you know, it's really interesting, like, the idea of, okay, so your you know, the parents will have their own problems in life, you know, their own anxieties, their own issues, their own traumas, and generally when they have kids, they can't help but, when raising them, passing on their own traumas. And in doing so, and in the way that they teach, and the way that they parent, a lot of the time it may form new traumas. So a kid will take on some of their parents' traumas from one side, some of their parents' traumas from the other side, and then, as it says here, and add some extra just for you. Like, there's a little bit more trauma in there, you know? And so then, you know, that kid will go on, they'll grow up, they might find a partner, they might have kids, and then some of those traumas get passed down, and some of the other ones, you know, continues going on forever. And it kind of makes it so that, you know, it's very easy. I mean, you hear a lot of people talking about therapy and their problems, and a lot of them stem from, like, parenting stuff. That's the way of, that's how it works, you know? You can't really avoid teaching anyone, any of your kids or whatever, without introducing a little of your own trauma into it, because your trauma has molded kind of who you are. But you can do it well. As I said, I'm in a very good position, and there's, you know, millions, maybe billions out there who have also had wonderful upbringings, and it's like, it is not because their parents didn't have any trauma, it's because they, I mean, maybe they had less, but also because they handled it better, and they were able to do it in such a way that it didn't damage the kids too much. But yeah, I do like that little opening scene. I mean, it was very, very simple, and it kind of implies that Rio has had her own issues with her parents. I don't know how much we know about Rio. I don't think it's much, but I think it's, I think it's interesting. I hope that this Rio Rudo thing that's going on, I mean, that she's like, you know, it seems like she's flirty with a lot of people. Whether intentionally or unintentionally, I think she knows she is, and she kind of, like, I don't think she's necessarily flirting with people, but I do think she knows that it comes across as flirting and probably doesn't care, like, or probably doesn't mind that, because it's probably just, you know, it's a little fun. So, but I wonder if she, if she and Rudo are gonna have anything in this series, you know? Like, is that just playful, like showing that Rudo's innocent and so he gets flustered around the girl that's kind of flirty? Or is it like setting up that there is gonna be like a little bit of a relationship between them? I have pretty low expectations when it comes to shonen because they just they put in like little romance things, but it very seldom goes anywhere. Like and maybe it does in the last episode or something. I don't want that. I'll keep talking about this on this channel. Give me, if you're going to put romance stuff in there, if you're going to have two characters have any sort of romantic chemistry, like, let's progress it. And progress it with a decent pace, you know? It doesn't need to be super quick. I don't need them by the end of season 1 to be banging, but like just have like legitimate progression and then have them get together before the end of the series, before it, like a decent amount before it. I want to see how they are as a couple during the show, not in an epilogue. that you know, might be mostly me. I mean, not like I feel like a lot of people feel the way I do, and there's a lot of other people who they don't like the romance aspects of the show and they want to pare it back. But for me, I think it really is interesting for characters. I think it's a great way to dive into like how a character is, because sometimes a big part of who someone is can be who are they when they're with the person that like they're beloved, you know, the person that they love, the person that they're in love with. What kind of person are they then? Not just the person they have a crush on, but the person who they've committed themselves to. And you can do that through, you know, you can do the similar sort of stuff with their best friend or their family members or whatever, but I want to see it with their partner, you know. And we just don't get it very often. I mean, even some of my favorite shows, and I mean, not every show needs it. I don't think it's needed in One Piece, but part of that is because One Piece doesn't even kind of pretend that it's that. And there's enough other stuff to keep me satisfied. But like, also, I don't feel like the characters need it or want it really most of the time, and they're pretty happy without it. There is actually a few things in One Piece later that I don't want to spoil it, but there's something in one of the later arcs in Whole Cake Island, I can say that. There is one thing there that I do wish was more, like developed more and stuck around. But you know, for what it was still really well done. But there's other shows that are some of my favorite shows that I feel like do not develop the stuff as much as I want it to, you know? And so, yeah, but I'm trying to be vague about it because I don't want to spoil any shows or invite spoilers about those series later on down the line, because I feel like people very often like will hear me and go like, well, you're going to be disappointed with blank show then, or like, oh, well, you might be pleasantly surprised by how this show goes, or actually straight up saying like a manga spoiler, like, well, at the end of this show, then this happens. Some people do that. And you might find it insane that someone would do that, but people don't think it through. Anyway, fun episode. That was Gachiakuta episode 9. Make sure to support this video if you can, liking, commenting, and subscribing, and go to my Patreon account for full-length early access and exclusive videos. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.